Yeah. Yeah, good evening all. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right? Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes. Fine. So today I just go with basics of Python, right? Starting with the installation, right? Before I go, like I'll be discussing about Python software, PSF, Python Software Foundation, right? You need to know something about like Python Software Foundation, PSF, right? So it is a non-profit organization, right? It is a non-profit organization devoted towards Python community, devoted towards Python community. Yes. So it is a non-profit organization devoted towards Python community. It was launched in the year. So it was launched in the year, right? 2001, almost like 20 years ago, right? It was launched, and the main objective of this Python Software Foundation objective, right, is to foster the development of Python. So version to version to foster the development of Python. Development of Python, right? Yes. Right. Non-profit organization devoted towards Python community. It was launched in the year 2000 to foster the development of Python. The objective is to foster. Okay. In the year 2005, in the year 2005, right? Yes. Python Software Foundation, PSF received Computer World Horizon Award. It received Computer World Horizon Award, right? Yes. The president for this, right? The same personality who developed or who introduced Python, right? The same person is the president for this, like Guido van Rossum. Guido van Rossum is the personality who introduced or who developed Python. The same personality is the president for this, right? Guido van Rossum, right? And headquarters, where are the headquarters located? Headquarters, right? In Delaware, US, right? In United States, US. And official website, right? Yes. The python.org, the python.org, that is the official website, right? Yes. Fine. So it is a non-profit organization devoted towards Python community, launched in the year 2001, like to foster the development of Python. The year 2005, it received Computer World Horizon Award. So Guido van Rossum, the president, headquarters Delaware, and official website python.org. So this python.org is the official website from where we are going to download, and we can see the documentation for each and every Python release. Now Python installation, right? Yes. Python installation. Okay, so before I go with, right, first let me show you from the scratch, from where we can download, from where we can install. So first I will uninstall from my system. All right, apps and features. Python 3.11, right? Yes. Uninstall, right? Yes. Yes. So Python is going to provide different softwares for different environments, for Windows, for Linux, for Mac OS, right? Again, within the Windows, separate software Python provides within the Windows, right? For Windows 64-bit operating system, 32-bit operating system, separate software Python provides. So how will you check whether your Windows is a 32-bit or 64-bit means? Yes, you can write it. So just minimize this, let this uninstallation go, right? So if you right click your PC, my computer, and see the properties, right? You can see that system type 64-bit operating system, 64-bit operating system. Yes. Okay, so if it is 32-bit, you are supposed to download 32-bit Python software. It is 64-bit, you are supposed to download 64-bit Python software. So, okay, now what is the official website for Python? Right, open this Google, right, and just python.org is the official website, right? Python.org. Python.org is the official website from where we can download and when we can install Python. Python, okay. So within this, you can see this PSF, right? PSF, Python Software Foundation. So you can see the sponsorship, memberships, donations, volunteers, grants for all this Python Software Foundation. Go back to Python. Within that, you can see downloads folder. So if you enter into this python.org, within this downloads folders, right? Yes. Yes, within the downloads folders, go to all releases, right? If you scroll down a little bit, right? Don't go for active Python releases, go for looking for a specific release. Looking for a specific release, right? Python 3.11.1. 3.11.1, right? Yes. Click this 3.11.1. Yes. Yes. If you scroll down, right? Scroll down to the bottom. If you have got a Mac OS, you can select this Mac OS. See, for Linux, no need of any separate installation. By default, you get Python as a inbuilt within this Linux operating system. For Mac OS, you can just select this universal installer. For Windows, 32-bit and 64-bit installer. Select this 64-bit. Automatically, your download will start, right? The software size, right? 64 MB. Python has got 89,300 modules. All those modules won't come along with the Python software. Later we need to download, we need to install, right, separately by using a component called pip, PIP. Later I demonstrate how to install external modules which are not part of Python software. So download is completed. 3.11, right? Yes, 3.11.1. See the version, right? 3.11.1. Yes. Click it. 3.11.1, right? Yes. Okay. So you will see this window. You are going to see this window, right? Yes. Add Python 3. Add. See at the bottom, you can see like add Python to path. Add Python to path. Add Python to path. Go to customize installation. Go for what? Customize installation. Click the customize installation. Right. No need to select. By default, you see documentation, pip, ideally test shoot all this, right? Nothing to select. Say next. Say next, right? So by default, where it is getting installed in C users, Dell, app data, local programs, Python 310, right? Yes. C users, Dell, app data, local programs, Python 310, right? Yeah. If you remove this, okay, I doesn't want tomorrow. If you want to locate where your Python is installed, you need to enter into all this, right? Yes. So I will remove all this path. Just I want to install Python within the C drive. That's it. Within the C drive, Python 311 folder. Yes. Yes. Just within the C drive, Python 311 means 3.11. So just say install. Hardly it takes just 1 to 2 minutes, right? Just it hardly takes 1 minute to install Python. Let us check whether it is successfully installed or not, right? Yes, we are almost done with the installation, right? Yes. Setup was successful, right? Close this, right? Just close it. How will you check whether it is successfully installed or not? Whether the Python is successfully installed or not, right? Yes. Yes. Just observe. CMD in the search panel, type CMD and just type Python. Just type Python. Just type Python here. You can see this Python version that you have installed 3.11.1, and the interpreter you will be getting, right? 3 arrow symbol. Any valid Python statements you can type right here, and you can check 3 plus 2. X is 5. X into 2. X to the power of 2. X minus 2. X equal to Ajay. X plus Y, right? Ajay Kumar, right? In this way. So you can interact with Python statement by statement. You can easily interact with Python statement by statement. Yes. So if you say exit, if you say quit, right? Come out of this. To come out of this, say quit. Yes. So understood, right? Yes. Python is successfully installed. Right. Coming back. So if anybody from, if using Python within the Linux environment, by default, you see Python as an inbuilt within the Linux OS, but still if you want the latest version to be installed, if you want the latest version to be installed, right? Yes. Just go with this command. Means you need to install from the root user. That's why we need to say sudo apt-get install sudo apt-get install Python 3.11 or 3.10, whichever version, right? Yes, apt-get install Python. This command is going to install Python within this Linux OS. Yes. Yes. Okay. So this is how to install, right? But before that, we had a small thing, right? Versions, if you see from the last 20-25 years, right? The Python versions. Yeah. Observe this Python versions, right? Python versions. The version what we latest version what we installed 3.11, right? Python versions. So the version like Python 1.x version, right? 1.x version. It was released in the year 1990. Python 2.x version, right? Python 2.x, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, right? Version was released in the year, right? 2000, right? Yes. Python 3.x version, right? Python 3.x was released in the year, right? 2008, almost like 14 years ago, right? 2008, 3 version was released. Yeah, latest version of Python, that what we are using currently, latest version of Python. Yes. Python 3.11, Python 3.11, right? Yes. Yeah, stable version of Python. Stable version of Python, right? Python 3.7 is the mostly used one, right? Yes. Stable version means mostly used version, right? Previous stable version, previously mostly used, previous stable version. Python 2.7, what is that? Python 2.7, right? Yes. Python 3.11, Python 3.7, previous stable version, Python 2.7, right? Yes. Okay. So the version what we are using currently 3.11. So just now I showed you how to download and how to install step by step, right? Python.org is the official website from where we can download and install, right? Yes. Now Python execution modes. Python execution modes, right? Yes. Execution modes. Two modes of execution. Two modes of execution. First one, like interactive mode and batch mode. Interactive mode and batch mode. Just now I was talking about interactive mode, right? Yeah, we can interact with Python statement by statement. Yes. Here we directly type Python statements. Here we directly type Python statements. On the interpreter. And the user can easily interact with Python statement by statement. Yes. We directly type Python statements on the interpreter and the user can easily interact with Python statement by statement. Observe. The advantage, if it doesn't have any idea about a particular functionality, you can type within this interactive mode and check what response it is providing, right? Yes. To test the functionalities of Python and to learn Python, the advantage is to test the functionalities of Python, to test the functionalities of Python and to learn Python. To test the functionalities and to learn Python. Batch mode. Here we write batch of statements. Here we write batch of statements or set of statements. Set of statements. Within the editors and IDs, within the editors or IDs, integrated development environments, right? We write set of statements within the editors or IDs and save it by using .py extension. Save it by using .py extension, right? And later submit to Python and later submit to Python. Within the editors or IDs, save it by using .py and later submit to Python. So what are the various editors where we can write the Python code? What are the various editors where we can write the Python code? Within the notepad, right? Within the notepad, we can, within the edit plus, VI, nano. So within the Windows, the first two are for Windows, next two are for Linux environment, right? Within the notepad and edit plus, and within the VI and nano, what are the various editors, right? Where we can write the Python code, and what are the various IDs? Various IDs, right? Yes. Various IDs, integrated development environment. In real time, we use IDs like various IDs supported by Python, right? PyCharm is the mostly used one. PyCharm, PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans. These are the various IDs to write and execute this Python code. Anaconda prompt, Jupyter notebook, right? Yes. Mostly used for data science environment. So, and VS Code. See, you may ask, you may get a query, why these many IDs for Python? Why not one or two? Among all these, PyCharm is the mostly used one, which PyCharm is the mostly used one, right? Mostly used. Okay. And why these many IDs? Why not one or two? Means Python is used for different environments. Yes. See here, no need to send me the screen. Okay. Okay, fine. PyCharm, PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, Jupyter Notebook, VS Code, right? Yes. Among all this, PyCharm is the mostly used one. And you may ask why these many means. For example, Python used for different environments using different IDs, like for data science. Jupyter Notebook is mostly preferred. Spider is mostly preferred even for big data environment. Spider is mostly preferred. Jupyter Notebook is mostly preferred. And for normal web applications, PyCharm is preferred, right? VS Code is preferred, right? In this way, for different environments, different IDs are preferred. So I'm going to show you, see, generally outside, they'll be showing you in 1 or 2 IDs, right? But I'm going to show you in all these IDs how to work with. Tomorrow, if you go to any environment, you will be having that experience on working with these IDs, right? Yes. So editors or IDs. In real time, we use these IDs. Later, I discuss about these IDs once we are done with a little bit of technical content, right? Yes. So now, developing the first Python application, using a editor, example of editor, right? Example of editor, notepad. Within the notepad, how can I write a Python? How I can create a Python file? Notepad, right? Yes. Developing the first Python application, right? Yes. Just 1 second. Give me a second, right? I'll be back. Yes. Developing the first Python application using the editor like Notepad. Yes. Yes. Open Notepad and type the following. Type the following Python statements. Up to now, we didn't discuss any of the Python fundamentals, right? So just I'll take two values, two numbers, right? And I want to perform some kind of arithmetic operations, addition, subtractions, multiplication, and division, right? So I'll take two values, 10 and 20, right? Print addition like x plus y, x minus y, right? X into y, x by y. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, printing the values. X by y. Copy to the separate notepad file. Just I'll copy these lines, this code, right? To a separate notepad file. Open notepad and type these statements. Save it. File, save this as .py extension. File, save.
Sir, in all environment .py is a format.
Python 8 p.m. batch, right? Yes. Python 8 p.m. batch, right? Okay. I'm just saving with the name sample1.py. Sample1.py, right? Now submitting this file, right? Yes.
Sir, in all environments, you used to save like .py only.
Yeah, Python files will be saved as .py.
Not only in Windows, but also in Linux. Okay.
Anywhere, if you want to save a Python file, the dot py only.
Okay.
So like if you say PDF, right? Java for .java, right? For Python, .py files. So save as sample1.py. So if you got any queries, anything, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your queries. Save as sample1.py and now submit this file. And now see, Notepad is a normal text editor. It's not a Python editor, right? You can create a .py file there, but can you execute there? Can you execute the Python file? Not possible, as it's not a Python editor or IDE. So here, save it as .py, create a .py file, and submit this file to Python. And submit this file to Python. As how we are going to submit this file to Python means, so go to the command prompt at the bottom search panel. Yeah, what a search panel. At the bottom command prompt, type cmd and enter. So go to the command prompt and just type Python. Just type Python and specify the file where your .py file is available in your system, right? So within the C drive /python 8pm batch. Python 8pm batch, right? Within that, I got with the name sample1.py. So the file name, the directory name, the drive name, in which drive, in which folder, and in which, what is the file name, right? You can just specify the entire file path, submit the entire file path to Python. Now just say enter. Your file is going to get executed, right? Yes. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20. Got the output, right? Yes. So this is what. Yes. So in this way, right? Submit to Python, submit the entire file path. But what is your observation here? But what is your observation? But here, we are writing the code. We are writing the code at one place. Means within the notepad you are writing. Here we are writing the code at one place within the notepad and executing at the other place. Executing at the other place means at the command prompt. We are writing the code at one place and executing at the other place within the command prompt. But to write and execute at the same place, here the drawback what we see here, we are writing at one place, executing at the, but to write and execute at the same place. We have IDLE, right? Which comes, we have IDLE, which comes along with Python installation, using which what is this ideally integrated development learning environment, which comes along with Python installation, right? Which using which we can write and execute at the same place. We can write and execute at the same place. Now I'll show you, right, how we can write and execute at the same place, right? Yes. Observe. I'll just copy this same statements, Python statements, right? This. Yes. If you go to the start programs, if you click, you will see all the list of all the programs installed, right? Just go to this P where your Python is available 3.11. What is the first thing we see here? IDLE, right? Integrated Development Learning Environment, right? Click it, Python shell gets open. Python shell gets open in this manner, right? File, new file, say file, new file, right? Yes. Yes. Just write your code here itself, and run option here. We have got run option here, run it here itself. But before you execute compulsory, you need to save your file, right? Okay, not new file, save file. File, save. Go to this Python API. With what name? Right, any name you can use, sample2.py. Save the file first before you execute. Run option here, run module. If you say it executes. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20, right? Yes. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20, right? This is the code. So here, understood, right? So IDLE, which comes along with Python installation, go and check in the start programs, click Python. You can see this IDLE, open it. Say file, new file. Yes. Once again, I show you, right? Yes. Go to start programs, check where you are Python P 3.11. You can see this IDLE, right? Click it. Python shell gets opened. You can interact here. 3 arrow symbol. You can interact with any valid statements, right? But I doesn't want interactive mode. I want batch mode. File, new file. Write your code here and execute your code here itself. Right? Yes. Any queries here? Anyone up to here? Today we have seen like Python software foundation, Python versions, Python installations, Python execution modes, interactive mode, batch mode. Fine. So here next, giving introduction to this data types or variables in Python, right? Data types are variables. Data types are variables, right? Yes. Every organization, if you talk like every organization use case has got, every organization has got data and operations. Data and operations. How to represent the data? Data represented using data types or variables. Data represented using data types or variables, right? Yes. Data represented using data types or variables. Operations represented using functions. So later I discuss about these functions. Our discussion is data types or variables. Any organization, if you take example of any organization, for example, if you take the example of any bank, right? Bank consists of what? Customers and employees. Customers. Again, customers has got what? Data and operations. Data operations. Data in the sense customer name, some name Ajay, account number, balance 90,000, branch Madhapur. This is nothing but data types represented by using data types or variables. Data represented using data types or variables. And operations, like what kind of operations? Deposit operation, withdraw operation, right? Transfer operation, right? All this represented by using functions. Data represented using data types or variables, operations using functions, and by employees, right? Yes. Data and employees also will have data and operations. Employee data like employee ID, employee name, salary 90,000, right? Designation, all this nothing but represented by using data types or variables. Data types or variables. Operations in the sense like calculating tax, calculating HRA, calculating net salary, right? All this by using functions. Later we discuss about functions, right? Understood. Every organization has got data and operations. Data using data types, variables, operations using functions. If you talk about any programming language like C or C++ or Java or Python, if you take any programming language, right? They represents data, they represents data using data types or variables. On that data you perform operations. On that data you perform operations, right? Using functions. They represents data using data types or variables. On that data you perform operations using functions, right? So if I talk about other programming language like C or C++ or Java compared with Python, right? If you are comparing with Python, Python supports dynamic data types. Observe this, dynamic data types. In other programming languages, right? If you want to define like x equal to 10, a variable, compulsory, it is mandatory that we need to specify int x. Y equal to 4.5, compulsory we need to say like float y. Z equal to hello, right? We need to say string z. But in Python, no need to define like int. Directly we say like x as 10, y as 4.5, z as hello, anything, right? No need to specify the data types. What kind of variable x is means what data type it is defined, right? Integer. What kind of variable y is float type. What kind of variable z is means string type based on the data type, right? Okay, but what kind of variable x is here? What kind of variable y z is means what value you are assigning to it. Based on the value assigned, the variable x is going to get created dynamically during runtime. That's why we call it as dynamic data types. X equal to 10. There is a function in Python called type function to know the type of a variable. Type of x is int type. Why it is integer type? Yes, anyone? So x equal to 10, what value you are assigning? If you are assigning integer value, integer variable gets created. Type of y, what is type of y? Yes, type, there is a function type of y,
Float.
float. Yes,
Float.
yeah, why it is float means you have assigned float
Decimal
value, float value. Type of z is what type?
String.
String type.
String.
For example, if you p equal to a list of values 10, 20, 30, right? Type of p is what type? List type. List of value. As you assign list of values to it, the type will be, means compulsorily you need to assign some value, then only the variable gets created. Otherwise, it won't gets created in Python. Compulsory. What value you are assigning, based on the value assigned only, the variable should be created dynamically. If you're not assigning, the variable is not going to get created, right? Yes. Okay, fine. So dynamic data types means based on the value assigned, the variables are going to get created dynamically during runtime. So to make you understand what happens internally when you define some variables, right? I'll be discussing 4 cases. So I'll be discussing 4 cases, right? One, you can understand what happens, how to print the value, how to print their type, how to print their value, content, and type, and also the address. So in the tomorrow session, I'll be briefing you much about these data types, variables, what happens internally, right? Yes, where we define some variables in Python. So tomorrow also you can attend the session, everyone, same time, using the same link, right? To see more on this. Okay. Yes. Any queries you have got as part of today's session, as per our discussion we had, like starting with Python software foundation, Python version, Python installation, execution modes, and data types and variables introduction, right? Yes. Any queries you have got? So from tomorrow, I want more interaction from your side, right? Yes. We'll be just entering into that basic part of Python, right? Python basics like data types, variables. So everyone need to respond either through voice or through chat panel, right? Whether your answers are yes, yes.
Sir, the CMD is not responding to this kind of installation, sir. It's responding to Microsoft Store.
So those, if anyone has got Windows 7, okay, it is not, you have already got Python installed in your system.
Yes, sir.
Which
From
version?
Microsoft Store.
Which version?
Before it was 3.10, I uninstalled it and I installed 3.11 through your method. But the CMD was not showing it, sir. So I installed it and I went to Microsoft Store and I installed it. And the CMD is responding.
So CMD is not no need to work with that CMD, but see that whether you got ideally or not.
Yes, sir. It's directly from Microsoft.
So this ideally, if you are getting, you can work with that ideally, not a problem.
Yes,
This is the better
yes.
way. And if in the coming sessions, I'll be showing you an IDs that are important, right? So these are all are just for learning purpose. Later in the coming sessions, right?
Okay.
Yes, yes, Fanindra. Yes, what is that? Yes.
So hi Vijay, this is Yodukondalu.
Yes, yes.
I joined today only. So I would like to ask you that personal contact number, would it be possible to provide to me? I will contact you. But personally, some other things need to check with you.
So that if you see that details, right? You can see that in the chart panel, the online team has posted the payment details and their mobile details, right? Contact details.
Yeah, that is I understand, but just want to be talk about some brief about all these things. I mean, course related. So would I
Tomorrow,
contact you if you
yes,
personally find that's fine for you?
yes. Tomorrow, you can just contact that online team. They'll arrange a conference call, right?
Yeah, that's fine for me. No worries. So is that 9246 the same number, right?
Yeah, you can see that multiple numbers are available. Yes,
Okay.
you can just call to that number, right?
Okay.
So yes, Prema, yes, Sai Prema. So if I want to have full stack of Python, that's the Python is also included. We have to, yes. So here, yes, see that fees for Python is 5K and the total full stack is, so total full, actually 5,000 for Python and 5,000 for that entire Django framework, web development, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap and project, right? So as a combo, if you're paying in a single, right, it's, you can just pay 9K for entire full stack, which includes Python also, right? Python, Django framework, UI technologies, project, everything will be included in it. Full total full stack. It's 9,000 you can just pay, right? So yes, Syed Karim, right, about installation of 3.11. See, if you go and check, right, observe in this official website of Python, that where we are installing Python, right, python.org. See here what it is saying. If you clearly, if you can observe here, downloads. In downloads, whenever you click, see here, note that Python 3.9 plus cannot be used on Windows 7 or earlier. So if you want to install in Windows 7, you need to go with 3.8 or 3.7 version. 3.8 version you can install, 3.7 you can install. You can choose 3.8. Those who have got Windows 7, they cannot down install 3.9 or the higher versions. You can go with 3.87, right? You won't see much difference within this, right? 3.8 or 3.11. So you can just install it, right? Yes. 3.8 version you can. So okay,
Yeah, and one
Karim,
more thing.
Karim, 1 second. If you are unable to install, not a problem. So in my system, you can see like multiple Python versions are installed. Just check this. Python 3.8 is there, 3.9 is there, 3.10, 3.11. If I want to work with 3.8, I'll click it ideally. If I click, it will get, okay, Python 3.8 ideally. See 3.8 shell gets opened. So no need to uninstall. You can install 3.8, but within the 3.11, two versions of 3.11 you cannot install. But 3.9, 3.8, 9, 10, anything, any number of installations can be done, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
And
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, Vijay, so I'm really new to this programming language. So, so can we, if we can learn the Python and including Django something, so will it be work for the web
so
development and everything?
Python coding looks very simple and easy, right? Python
Yeah.
code looks very simple and easy. So as you see, right, they look like normal English statements. So everyone can, there is no prerequisites, everyone can upgrade with Python. It looks very simple and easy. Only thing is, if you are from non-programming, spend at least minimum 1 hour daily on the practical part, so that the next session will be much easier to understand. Every day, if you do that practicals that day itself, ask queries at the start of the session if you've got anything, right? So it looks very simple and easier.
Okay.
Yes.
I
See,
have
everything you have entered this meeting through a one mail ID, right? You have entered some mail ID. Check your mail IDs tomorrow by morning or by before 12 o'clock, right? You will see the video that you can just check that video link will be provided. Today's video and yesterday's video, right? In YouTube link will be provided for that. You can in you to your mail IDs. Okay, fine. If anyone missed the sessions, right? Yes.
I have a question regarding this data structures and algorithms. People say that to do well in programming, so one has to learn with the algorithm and data structures. So Yeah, is this a must to have a algorithm and data structures knowledge aside when we attend this program?
See, 1 second. No, not required. So here, if you see that how lengthy our syllabus will be, right? Python basics, Python operations, operators, Python IDs, flow control, looping statements, strings, collections, lists, tuples, sets, dictionaries, functions, modules, packages, errors, exception, file handling, oops concepts, regular expressions. So I discussed models related to different domains, right? Database related, regular expression, date and time related, operating system related, like advanced concepts like iterator generators, closures, decorators, GUI programming, right, and Excel workbook, data analytics, introduction to this data science, pandas, numpy, matplotlib. This for Python, like 30 topics in brief, right? So
Yeah.
you will get great command. Apart from this, people who go for full stack, like Django web development, right? Django framework, it's a rapid speed. You can develop a web applications, web frameworks, Django installation. Looks very simple, much easier, right? Then you see the sessions of this Django. Everything you have got pre-built code. We'll just change the names of that application projects, right? So in UI technologies, you'll be getting the knowledge on HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, and MySQL. Yes. So this one we'll be discussing all this. Okay, fine. Yeah. Electrical side passed out in the eligible to take it. Yes. So today, if you go to any software field, right, compulsory the knowledge of Python is required. Today, directly or indirectly, every software, right, is going to software employee going to touch Python, right? If you go for technical or non-technical, like even if you go as a administrator, system admin or database admin, network admin, right? So even administrators are asked to get updated with Python by writing Python scripts instead of writing the complex shell scripts, right? And even today, Python mostly used within these different high-end technologies, data science with Python, big data with Python, PySpark, AWS with Python, robotics, IoT, right? Web applications creations using Python, lot of application development using Python. What? So here, yes, in this course, right, Python, yes, Python totally in brief, we will be discussing basic and advanced part, and also like models related to different domains. In that data science related modules also covered in brief in depth. That modules, if you go to a data science course directly, they'll give overview, but here we'll be learning in brief about those modules. Yes, pandas module, numpy model, matplotlib model, in brief we'll be discussing. So yes, after yeah, you can get certificate. Yes, Raja, you can get certificate from this DurgaSoft, right? Yeah, Python and Django will cover by 75 days. Am I right? Means no. Python and Django will you cover within. So whatever I'm saying that 75 hours is only for Python, right? So in brief, in depth, you want to have this Python knowledge. 75 hours you are spending for Python only. And 2.5 months, some bigger sessions will be planned during Saturdays, right? It will be pre-intimated for you. So it's not like 45 hours course, like a overview course. It's not a overview kind of course. In brief, in depth with multiple code examples, right? Real time scenarios, assignments, tasks, right, will be provided. So even people going for many certification programs also can attempt, right? Yes, the typical 4+ years experienced employee, right? A Python employee with 4+ years of experience, how much knowledge he is going to gain? That knowledge I'm going to provide you, right? And in Django applications creations, I'm going to show you nearly 15 to 20 applications, which you will be doing parallelly along with me, right? In Django especially, and one project at the last. Yeah. Fine. Any other queries, right? Yes. Manindra, right? Yes. How you can fill the gap later? I'll just show you, right? how to prepare your resume and how to go for, right? Yes. People who have got a gap, right? So just update Django and you can keep some experience, right? And how to prepare your resume building also will be just helping you out, right? In this.
Hello.
So yes, Python core, Python advanced, Python application oriented modules, and the Django and UI technologies, right? All these are covered.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Fine.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Yes.
So now I'm working in networking domain. Then I will switch in Python. It's better or not?
Yes. Python is a language which is used by all most of them, right, in the industry today, which has got hybrid features, multi-programming features, right? And wide varieties of applications creations and used in implementation in different high-end technologies, right? Yes. Fine. Compulsory. Yes, you can just check it, right? Python jobs.
After that, no issues, not right?
Pardon?
After that, no issues, not right? When I will switch in Python.
So Python, see, people who are from non-programming or zero programming or from other backgrounds, right? It's a kind of language which looks very simple and easy. So I was just differentiating this Python code with other language code, right? How simple this Python statements, right? It's a normal, just like normal English statements. So that's why Python is preferable. I also give trainings on this big data, Hadoop and Spark, but I won't recommend those people who are from non-programming, right? Because it requires a lot of prerequisites and but Python anybody can update, right? Yes.
At that time, can I mention in my networking domain have 2 years of working experience? Can I show in that time or not?
Yes, yes. You need to, for getting that command, is working with some assignments, tasks, and just going through all these practical parts, right? Exposure, definitely. So that's what I was saying. A 4+ years experienced person, how much knowledge he will gain, that knowledge I'm going to provide you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So here, not like you can just check if you at the end of the course, you can ask me at 20 applications. I said, right? I'll be see if you see the previous batch. I discussed a series of Django applications creations. Can you see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? This all discussed as part of this. The batch to batch. Okay, depending upon the time constants, other things I'll be discussed. All these are the applications. Yes. Any other queries, right? So I'm running out of time. So still you can ask queries the tomorrow session also if you've got any queries. So you can join the session tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. using the same link to see more on this, right? Yes. So I'm signing off for today. Meet you tomorrow and thank you all for your time. Thank you. Bye.